Okay guys, so let's start yung topic natin sa Advanced Calculus 1. So lesson 1, the algebraic and order properties of real numbers. So start tayo sa infinite sets. So number 1, the set of natural numbers. So it is denoted by n, and that is 1, 2, 3. So aware kayo dyan, naalala nyo ba naman yan? So nasa topic natin yan kasi. So number 2, piano axioms. Maalala mo rin ito sa theory. So may 2.1 yan. 2.1, if k is an element of n, then k plus 1 is an element of natural number. That is principle of mathematical induction. So kung andun si k, yung k plus 1 andun din. Okay, obvious yan. Then 2.2, the well-ordering property. Let S be non-empty subset. Again, pakiayos na lang. Okay, let S be non-empty subset of natural number. Then S has a least element. Okay, so maaalala mo rin yun. So may least element akong dinefine dati. Okay, then theorem 1. So the well-ordering principle implies principle of induction. So ito yung sinabi niya. Let S be non-empty set. So again, pakiayos ulit. Then be subsets of or subset of natural number. Suppose that 1 is an element of S. If k is an element of S, then k plus 1 is an element of S. Then, kung totoo yung 1 and 2, therefore, S is equal to natural number. So, from now on, pag may nakita kang theorem, dapat ipuprove natin. Pero hindi lahat ng theorem ipuprove ko kasi probably may iwan sa inyo yung mga theorem na hindi ko gagawin. So, basically, gagawin ko yung una, yung madali sa akin, sa inyo yung mahirap. Okay? So, let's have the proof or the proof. Okay, here's the proof. Okay, so suppose S is non-empty, again, subset of natural number, and 1 is an element of S, and k plus 1 is also an element of S. Okay, we need to show that S is equal to natural number. So, ang gagawin natin, dapat equal daw yung set ng S sa natural number. Pag ito yung nangyayari. Pag element niya si 1, tapos element din niya yung k plus 1, meaning element din niya yung k, induction yan. So, meaning lahat ng laman ni N, laman din ni S. Ganun yung nangyari. Yan yung ini-explain nito eh. Okay, so yun yung definition. So, kung titingnan mo, parang saan ako mag-umpisa? Parang yung tanong, paano ako mag-umpisa sa mga given na yan? So, try natin mag-contradiction. So, paano nagpo-prove ng RIP dati sa punda? Maghahanap ka ng P, maghahanap ka ng not P, then conjunct mo, ano mangyari? That is 0. So, pag nangyari yun, therefore, totoo yung argument natin. Okay, so ganun din yung gagawin natin dito. So, suppose the contrary, that S is not equal to natural number. So again, nag-contradiction agad ako. So pinasok ko yung conclusion na S is equal to natural number. Pagpasok na naka-negate, not equal sila. Okay, then define. Then magdi-define ako ng another set that is A is equal to N minus S. Okay, so nag-define ako ng A which is equal to N minus S. So, pansinin niyo mabuti. Ano yung N minus S? Lahat ng meron kay N, babawasan ko na S. Yun si A. Okay, so, ano yung dalawang ma-observe nyo dun sa dinefine ko na yan? Una, si A, subset ni natural number. Sure yan. Nagbawas lang naman ako ng konti eh. Binawasan ko ng S si N, tapos na si A. Okay, pangalawa, si A, intersection S ay equal sa empty set. Okay, yan yung dalawang no-observe ni sir. Okay, so ngayon, mag-start tayo dito. Let X be greater than 1. Okay, be the least element of S. Okay, so let X greater than 1 be the least element of, that is dapat A. Okay, so ngayon, kung yung X greater than 1 be the least element of A, paano yun? For example, 2. Okay, yun yung least element ng A natin, 2. So, anong masasabi mo dito? ang sure ko, si x minus 1, element to ni natural number. Sure yan. Okay, again, x minus 1, element yan ni natural number. Also, si x minus 1, element din yun ni s. Okay, tandaan nyo na. Si x minus 1, element ni natural number. Also, si x minus 1, element din s. Kasi nga, almost ano lang naman sila. Okay, so next, anong sabi ng property natin kanina dito? So may nakalagay, if 1 is an element of S, if k is an element of S, then k plus 1 is an element of S. And sabi, si x minus 1 element of S. Okay, so this implies, okay, that x minus 1 plus 1 is an element also of S. Okay, kasi inindak ko lang. Sabi lang din naman ng ating assumption. So therefore, this is equal to x is an element of S. Okay, ngayon, maghanap tayo ng mga pangyayari dito. O maghanap tayo dito ng P saka not P. Okay, so let x greater than 1 be the least element of A. Okay, kung si x greater than 1, least element of A, meaning, sa part na to, si 1, element ni S. Okay, tandaan niya, ulitin ko lang. Let x greater than 1 be the least element of A. So, meaning si 1 element of S. So, totoo tayo doon. Okay, pangalawa. Si x ba element ni S? Si x ba element ni S? So, based dito sa definition na to, hindi. Kasi nga, si x greater than 1, element siya ni A. Pero, dumating tayo sa point na si x is an element of S by manipulating. So, ang nakikita ko, itong part na to, ito yung P. At itong part na to, ito yung not P. Okay? So, therefore, ito yung ating contradiction. Okay? Since nakahanap tayo ng contradiction, therefore, S is equal to natural number. So, again, no need naman para masyadong alamin pa yung nangyari dyan. So, in-explain ko lang kasi nga hindi nyo pa naman gamay yung ganitong proving. So, in-explain ko siya in a very simple way. Dapat mas malalim pa yan. So, proceed tayo sa number 3. Number 3 sa the integers, familiar kayo dyan. It is denoted by this symbol. Then, it is equal to natural number union. The set containing 0, union, negative natural number. Okay, so, ayun yung set of integers. So, ano meron sa set of integers? Sa set of integers, sinasatisfy niya induction hypothesis. So, dyan nga tayo nag-start actually. So, ulitin ko lang ha. Sa infinite set, una yung natural number. Sa natural number, sinasatisfy niya yung Peano axioms. Induction hypothesis, yung well-ordering principle. Saksi theorem 1. Pagdating sa number 3, si integers, ito yung denote niya. So, ang sinasatisfy lang niya si induction hypothesis. Wala siyang well-ordering principle. Kasi walang least element. Kung naaalala nyo. So, hindi mo alam yung pinakamalit na element dyan. Okay, induction hypothesis lang kaya satisfy. The number 4 is the rational number. So, wala siyang induction hypothesis. Wala din least element kasi mas marami yan. Then, last is the real number. Ito yung pag-uusapan talaga natin sa subject na to. So, yung real number. So, una, R is a field. Actually, sa abstract algebra to. So, didefine ko na lang. So, pag naturo na sa inyo abstract algebra o yung field, at least maintindihan nyo. So, definition 1, a field is a ring F with unity and every non-zero element of F is a unit. So, actually, andito kasi lahat yan sa definition na gagamitin ko. Okay, pero hindi masyadong importante to na ilagay lang ni Sir kasi nga, sinama talaga to sa topic. So, hindi ko na kaya explain na sa abstract algebra yan. So, proceed tayo dito. The algebraic properties of R. So, again, explain ko lang din to. Let A, B, and C element of real numbers. Then we have number 1 or for addition, A1, A plus B is equal to B plus A. Sorry, pakiayos ulit. Okay, so that is commutative or com. Okay, A1 represents com. A2 is associativity or ASO. So that is A plus the quantity of B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. That is associative or ASO. Then A3, there exists a unique. Again, yung dot na yan, basta dyan unique. Okay, there exists a unique 0 element of real number such that A plus 0 is equal to A. Obvious naman yun. Pag nag-add ka ng 0 sa any number, ang sagot doon yung number itself. Okay, yan yung parang element, identity element. So, unique, 0. So, that is existence of identity. Next, A4. There exists a unique negative A element of real number such that A plus negative A is equal to 0. So, paano naman yan? So, kung meron akong 2, sigurado ko meron negative 2 na mag-i-equal siya dun sa 0. So, ito naman yung existence of inverse. Okay, tandaan, ito yung ASO, existence of 0, existence of negative, o nung inverse niya. Okay, so tandaan yan. Proceed tayo sa next. Okay, next is the multiplication. Let's have M1. So, M1, A times B is equal to B times A, o commutative under multiplication. So, M2, A times the quantity of B times C is equal to the quantity of A times B times C. Okay, that is ASO, under multiplication. Next is there exists a unique one element of real number such that A times 1 is equal to A. Tama naman yun. Kanina, any number add by 0 or add by 0 is equal to itself. So, any number multiplied by 1 is equal to itself. Okay, ganun din yan. So, M4, kung kanina, there exists a negative A such that pag pinag-add ko yung dalawa equal dun sa 0, dito naman, there exists a 1 over A element ng real number such that A times 1 over A is equal to 1. So, pinapalabas din dito yung identity element na 1. Kanina, pinapalabas yung identity element na 0. Nakitandaan yan. Then, we have D1. So, that is this distributive. So, left distributive, that is A times B plus C is equal to AB plus AC. Then, the left distributive or D2, that is A plus B times C is equal to AB plus AC. Okay, that is left and right. Okay, so let's have theorem. So, may nakalagay na theorem dito. If A and Z is an element of real number such that Z plus A is equal to A, then Z is equal to 0. So, imagine niyo yung A ang obvious. Kung yung A and Z daw element ng real number, meron akong Z plus A is equal to A, ang gagawin mo lang siguro, transpose mo So, Z is equal to A plus negative A, that is 0. Obvious. Ganun yung gagawin mo. Pero, ang gusto ko, gamitin natin yung mga algebraic properties na pinakita ko kanina para malaman nyo. Okay? So, letter B, if U and B element ng real number such that U times B is equal to B, then obviously, CU is equal to 1. Tama naman. I-divide mo lang both side by B, then cancel, then equal na yun sa 1. Okay? So, imagine mo ang basic pero theorem siya dito. Ibig sabihin, ipoprove natin. Then, letter C, ito yung pinaka talaga common sa lahat Alam mo to So, that is for all A element ng real number, A times 0 is equal to 0. So, any number multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. So, aware naman tayo dyan. So, ipuprove ko si 2.A sa si 2.C, sa inyo si 2.B. Although, madali lang naman yan. Okay, tandaan nyo. Ano yung A1? A1, A2, ASO. A3, there exists a unique 0. A4, there exists a negative A. Tama? Then, M1, ano nakalagay sa M1? M2, ASO. M3, there exists 1. Okay. M4, there exists 1 over A. Then, D1, yung left distributive. D2 is right distributive. Tandaan, yan yung mga gagamitin natin pang-prove. So, let's have the proof of theorem 2.A. So, ito yung proof ng 2A. Okay. So, we need to show that Z is equal to 0. Okay, so assumption natin, Z plus A is equal to A. Dapat ma-show natin, Z is equal to 0. So, for our assumption, that is Z plus A is equal to A. So, kung ikaw, tinanong ko sa ito na hindi ko tinuturo to, ang gagawin mo lang, transpose, equal na sa 0, tapos na. Okay, so gusto ko gamitin may algebraic properties. So, for A1, ito yung una kong gagawin. Actually, not A1. Ang gagawin ko, A3. Okay, so ano yung A3? Sabi ng A3, there exists a unique 0 such that A plus 0 is equal to A. So, ito yung A ko. So, ang mangyari, Z plus A plus 0, okay, is equal to A plus 0. Ginamit ko yung property ni A3. Ang sabi ng A3, mag-add ako ng 0. So, kung anong ginawa ko sa left, gagawin ko rin sa right. Yun yung pinagkaiba dito. So, sabi nga doon sa equality. So, addition property of equality. So, ganyan yung ginawa ko. So, next, anong pwedeng gawin niyo, sir? Next is, I think, iaasa ko siya. So, that is A2. A2, that is Z plus A plus 0. Okay? Then sa kabila, wala. Retain. That is A plus 0. So, ang ginawa ni sir, ASO. Nag-associative ako. Okay. Next, ang gagawin ko, tatanggalin ko yung 0 sa part na to. So, paano matatanggal 0? That is A3. So, ulitin ko lang ha. Ang sabi kasi na A3, pwede kang magdagdag ng 0 or pwedeng mawala si 0. So, that is Z plus A is equal to A plus 0. Sir, ba't dito hindi mo ginawa? So, ayoko kasi parang bumalik tayo sa umpisa. Okay, tandaan yan ha. Ayoko kasi babalik tayo sa umpisa. So, next natin dyan is A4. Ano yung A4? Okay, sabi ng A4, there exists a negative A, a unique negative A. So, ang gagawin ko, that is Z plus A, that is plus negative A. Okay, equal din siya sa A plus 0 plus negative A. Okay, A4 yung ginamit ko, natanggal ako. Okay, next na gagawin ko is ASO, then COM. Probably, kasi may iko-com ako dyan. Pagsasamahin ko yung A saka negative A. Doon din sa kabila, pagsasamahin ko yung A saka negative A, I think. Okay, so, or sorry, pagsamahin ko yung 0 saka negative A para mas sure. So, that is A2, then A1. Okay, so, A2, then A1. So, ulit, sabi ni sir, that is Z plus, that is A plus negative A. Okay, nag-aso lang ako, then nag-group. Then dito, ang gagawin ko, this is A plus, this is negative A. Uunahin ko si negative A. Ito yung pagko-com ko, plus 0. Okay, dito ako nag-com, actually. ASO, then com. Okay, next. So, napansin nyo, A plus negative A, that is A4. So, A plus negative A, that is A4, that is equal to 0. Negative A plus 0, that is naman is A3. Kasi yung lalabas dyan negative A. So, ulitin ko lang, ang lalabas dito is A4, then A3. So, that is Z plus A plus negative A by A4, that is 0. Okay, equal to A, then negative A plus 0, that is A3, that is negative A. Okay, next. So, napansin nyo, wala nang A dun sa may Z plus 0 lahat, dito sa may left side natin. So, obviously, pwede ko nang gamitin yung A3 dyan. So, by A3, that is Z na lang, is equal to A plus negative A. Tinanggal ko na yung 0 kasi nga A3. Lastly, by A4, pwede ko nang tanggalin yung negative A. So, that is by A4, that is equal to Z is equal to 0. So, therefore, this is done. So, kung napansin nyo, kung gagawin mo natural, maikli. Pero kung gagawin mo yung gagamitin mo algebraic properties, ito yung kakalabasan niya. Okay, so proceed tayo dun sa proof ng 2.C or ng 2C. So, ito yung proof ng 2C. Okay, so we need to show naman na na A times 0 is equal to 0. So, we need to show that A multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. Okay, so parang nakakapanibago na, sir, paano yan? So, ang obvious naman, sir, that, ano pang gagawin natin dyan? So, consider natin to muna bago tayo mag-start ng proving. Okay, consider yung A plus A times 0. Okay, saan equal yan? Sir, A po. Okay, gusto ko i-verify natin na A yung sagot dyan. So, una, by M1, by M3. Sir, ano yung M3? Ang sabi ng M3, there exists a unique one such that A times 1 is equal to A. So, ang gagawin ko, that is A times 1 plus A times 0. Okay, nilabas ko lang yung 1. Next, alam nyo yung left distributive or yung ating D1. Okay, so ang gagawin ko by D1. May common factor kasi na A, so that is A times 1 plus 0. So, ginamit ko yung D1. Okay, next. By A3. Sir, bakit A3? Kasi 1 plus 0, any number added by 0 is the number itself. So, that is A times 1. Kasi 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay, next. By M3, that is A. So, ano na ibalik natin? That is A plus A times 0 is equal to A. Sir, ang obvious naman yan eh. Ano po pong gagawin natin dyan? So, puproceed na tayo dun sa ating proving. Okay, so consider na natin si A plus A times 0, A times 0 is equal to A. Okay, dito natin huhugutin si A times 0 is equal to 0. So, anong unang gagawin ni sir? Okay, so una, ang gagawin ni sir is, possible siguro dito mag-add muna tayo ng negative A. So, for example, that is, paano pag nag-add ng negative A? That is A4. So, A4, that is A plus negative A plus A times 0 is equal to A plus negative A. Okay, so observe nyo lang yung nangyayari ha. Nag-add ako ng negative A both sides. Okay, next is aso. Mag-regroup tayo. I think, pagsamahin natin si A plus A negative A. So, hindi kasi natin pwede right away pagsamahin tong dalawang to eh. Or mag-add tayo agad dyan. So, by A2, that is A plus negative A plus A times 0, which is equal sa A plus negative A. Okay, again, nag-A2 lang ako. Next, by A4, magsi-0 siya. That is A4. That is 0 plus A times 0, which is equal sa 0 din dito. Tama? Then, makukuha na ba natin sagot? Actually, bawal pa tayo mag-A3 dyan. Tandaan, bawal pa mag-A3 dyan. So, by A1, that is A times 0 plus 0, which is equal sa 0. So, kinom ko. Then, lastly, by A3. So, by A3, that is A times 0, which is equal to 0. Therefore, this is done. Okay, so, napansin nyo, naghanap ulit ako ng another way para ma-prove na A times 0 is equal to 0. So, again, yung number 2 o yung letter B, 2.B sa inyo yan. Okay, so let's have theorem 3. Hindi ko ito ipoprove na sa assignment din to. So, theorem 3, let A and B element ng real number. So, obvious to. If A is not equal to 0, and AB is equal to 1, then B is equal to 1 over A. Tama lang. Divide both sides by A. That is equal to 1 over A. Or B is equal to 1 over A. Next, if AB is equal to 0, then either of the following. Ito yung zero product property. That is, then A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. Again, pag yung product nung dalawang number equal sa 0, any one of them could be 0. Or both sa kanila pwedeng 0. Pwedeng 0 si A, 0 si B, or both silang 0. 0 naman kasi sagot doon. Okay, yun yung sinasabi ng theorem number 3. So, magpo-proceed tayo dun sa may order properties para mas maintindihan natin. Okay, so let's proceed to page 3 ng PDF nyo. So, definition 1, there is a non-empty set P, subset of real number called set of positive real numbers which satisfies the following. So, i-define ko muna si P. Si P, yung mga element niya is yung mga positive real numbers. Hindi lang yun dyan basta 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1 half, 1/3. Nandyan din yung 0.0001, 0.00000009. Nandyan din si pi kasi 3.14, si E 2.7 something yan. So lahat ng positive real number na naiisip mo na dyan. So wala dyang 0, walang negative. Yan si P. Okay, so which satisfies the following? Number 1, if A and B element ng P, then A plus B is also an element of P. Tama naman. Addition of 2 positive real number is also a positive real number. Then number 2, the product of two real number is also an element of positive real number. So A, B is also an element of P. Then number 3, if A is an element of real number, so tandaan yan, na real number yung pinag-uusapan. So then exactly one of the following is true. So A is an element of P. Ulitin ko lang, kung si A element ng real number, possible case, element siya ni P. Or si 0 siya. Or si negative A element ng P. Paano yung negative A? For example, si A is 2. That is negative 2 element of P. So, ayun yung nangyari. Okay? So, note, meron tayo nito mga to. So, let A equal to the set containing A such that A is an element of P. So, positive siya. Let B be the set containing negative A such that A is an element of P. Okay, so yung A, siya yung set ng positive real number. Yung B, siya yung set ng negative real number natin. Okay, so number 2. So, ito, medyo mga importante ito. If A is an element of P, then A is greater than 0, and A is strictly positive. So, tandaan yung term na yan. So, kung ako element ng P, tapos ako ay greater than 0, then strictly positive ako. Then, number 3, if A is an element of P, union the set containing 0, then A is greater than or equal to 0. And A is called non-negative. Tama naman. So, sa part na to, kasama na dito sa 0. Then, yung real number. Ang tawag sa kanila, non-negative. Pag positive real number, strictly positive lang. Okay, the number 4, balik rin natin konti. If A is an element of P, then A is less than 0. And A is strictly negative. Okay, so ito naman yung mga negative real number, hindi kasama sa 0. So, number 5, if A is an element of P, union, isama nyo dyan yung union. Okay, union, the set containing 0. Okay, then A is less than or equal to 0 and A is non-positive. Okay, so para pumarehas dun kay 3. So, tandaan nyo yung mga term na yan. Okay, then next natin is definition 2. Let A and B element ng real number. Number 1, if A minus B is an element of P, then A is greater than B or B is less than A. Okay, tandaan lang yan ha. So, pag nakita ko to, yung A minus B element ng P, dalawa lang ibig sabihin yan. It's either A is greater than B, or B is less than A. Okay, then number 2, if A minus B is an element, baliktad dyan. Okay, element ng P union the set containing 0, then A is greater than or equal to B or B is less than or equal to A. So, similar lang naman dun sa 1. Nagkaroon ng less than or equal. Okay, so redefining yung trichotomy property. Kung naalala nyo yung trichotomy property, if A is greater than 0, A is equal to 0, or A is less than 0. So, any one of these three is true. So, for example, kumuha ko ng A, it's either malaki siya sa 0 siya, o mas maliit siya. Okay, pagdating ng number 2, kung dalawang number na pinag-uusapan, it's either mas malaki si A kay B, equal siya, or mas maliit siya doon. Then lastly, if both A is less than or equal to B, and B is less than or equal to B, then A is equal to B. So again, pag nakita mo yung A is less than or equal to B, and B is less than or equal to A, then A is equal to B. So property ulit yan. Okay, so let's have theorem. So theorem to about order properties. So magugulat ka na lang na nasa-satisfy na natin siya. So theorem 3, let A and B and C element ng real number. Number 1, if A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then A is greater than C. Okay, tama naman yun. So number 2, if A is greater than B, then A plus C is greater than B plus C. Then 3, if A is greater than B and C is greater than C, then AC is greater than BC. Then number 4, if A is greater than B and C is less than 0, then AC is less than BC. Okay, so ipoprove natin isa-isa yan, din saka ako explain pa isa-isa. So, prove natin yung theorem 3.1. So, proof ng 3.1. Okay, so ano yung assumption? Ang assumption natin, A is greater than B. So, ang sabi, pag A is greater than B, that is if and only if A minus B is an element of B. Sabi nung definition kanina. Okay, pag nakita ko A greater than B, ito yun. Okay, also, si B greater than C, if and only if, or equal siya sa B minus C is an element of P. Okay, so ano napansin nyo? May dalawa akong element ng P. Ano yung una? Si A minus B. Pangalawa, si B minus C. Okay? So, ano sabi nung order properties natin? Kung si A and B element ng P, then A plus B is also an element of P. So, ulitin ko lang. Si A minus B element ng P. Si B minus C element ng P. So, ibig sabihin, si A minus B plus B minus C is also an element of P. Kasi sabi ng property, pag element kami parehas nun, yung sum namin, element din nun. Okay, so, then, this implies that A plus negative B plus B minus C is an element of P. Tama? Then, that is equal to A plus 0 minus C is also an element of P, which implies that A minus C is an element of P. So ngayon, ano ibig sabihin ng A minus C element ng P? Pag yung A minus C element ng P, therefore, A is greater than C. And this is done. Nakuha ko yung conclusion. Okay? So, ganun yung pagpuprove pag order properties yung gagamitin natin. Okay? So, proceed tayo sa 3.2. So, dito na lang. Proof ng 3.2. Okay? So, anong sabi? So, A is greater than B if and only if, ito yung assumption natin, if and only if A minus B is an element of P. So, N lang yung meron tayo. Okay, so tandaan nyo N lang yung gagamitin natin. So, anong goal natin? Kailangan magkaroon dyan ng C. Okay, so tingin nyo, paano tayo magkakaroon ng C dyan? So, check natin. So, consider natin si A minus B element ng P. Okay, so aware kayo na si A plus 0 minus B is an element of P. So, anong ginawa sir? Nagdagdag lang ako ng 0 sa gitna. Ngayon, yung 0 na yan, so yung 0, ang gagawin kong C plus negative C. Okay, pwede kong gawin yan. So, this implies that A plus C plus negative C minus B is also an element of P. Okay, then arrange ko lang konti. So, ang goal kasi natin dapat A plus C. So, meaning, ang kailangan natin makuha, dapat magkasama si A sa si C. So, by associative, this implies that A plus C, okay, then plus negative C minus B, which is also an element of P. So, next, ilalabas ko si negative. That implies that A plus C minus C plus B, which is also an element of P. Then, konting aso lang tayo dito. So, this implies that A plus C minus B plus C is an element of P. So, therefore, this implies that nakuha ko naman na yung minus. Pwede ko na ibalik dun sa property that is A plus C is greater than B plus C. And that is done. Okay. So, proceed tayo dun sa 3.3. So, dito ko tatapusin yung lesson. Proceed tayo agad sa lesson 2. So, naka-upload na rin yun. Kunin nyo na lang din. Okay. So, 3.3. Proof ng 3.3. So, ano mga assumption ng 3.3? A is greater than B. So, sabi, A is greater than B if and only if, ang sabi that is A minus B is an element of P. Okay, ngayon, ano naman ibig sabihin ng C is greater than 0? Okay, ang ibig sabihin ng C greater than 0, that is C is an element of P. Kasi positive siya. Okay, ang sabi kasi ng definition, pag greater than 0, automatic element ako ng P. So, since greater than 0 ako, automatic element din ako ng P kasi positive real number yun eh. Okay, so, ano naman nakita natin ngayon? Meron akong A minus B. Meron akong C. Dalawa yan. Ang sabi ng number 2, kanina, yung product daw nila, ay also element din ng P. So, pwede kong gawing, this implies that A minus B multiplied by C is also an element of P. Okay? Kasi product nila yun eh. So, therefore, this is equal to AC minus BC is an element of P. Okay, then balik ko lang konti sa definition. This implies that AC is greater than BC. And that is done. Kasi nakuha ko yun, conclusion. So, paano gagawin sa 4? Pag C is less than 0, therefore, negative C is an element of P. Ganun yung mangyayari. Okay, ulitin ko lang ha. Yung gagawin nyo sa 4, pag yung C less than 0, this implies na yung negative C element ni P. Ganun kasimple. Then, makukuha nyo yung number 4 na yan. Okay, so that's all for this video. Proceed tayo sa next video. Panoorin nyo na lang din. Thank you.